Attention, loyal fans of the Washington Commanders. If you thought the next game was going to be smooth sailing, you better buckle up. The opposing team is straight up underestimating our boys. Yeah, their key defensive player has been running his mouth, downplaying what the Commanders have lined up for this crucial week. Could this be the spark we need to ignite a victory? You don't want to miss how this could flip the entire game. But that's not all. The young talent on our defensive line is pushing hard to earn his spot on the field. A rookie hungry to make his NFL debut, and trust me, his name is starting to buzz among the coaches. His energy and drive might just be the X factor we need to deliver the knockout blow on defense. Could this be the start of a great career in the league? Stick around because we're about to dive into everything happening behind the scenes. And heads up, the work doesn't stop. Our team is developing one of our biggest prospects, a player who's already turning heads in his position. Word from inside is that the coaches are grinding, fine-tuning every part of his game. This could be a game changer for our defense. Can you imagine what this means for the future of the Commanders? Don't go anywhere, because what's coming next is crucial. Subscribe now to stay on top of every Commanders update. And drop a like if you believe this season is about to take off. And remember, hail to the Redskins. Alright, Commanders fans, let me ask you this. What happens when a player from a rival team who hasn't even dominated the league dares to disrespect our Commanders? That's exactly what Kayvon Thibodeau just did. This guy, who's only had a couple of solid seasons, came out and said that Washington isn't a serious contender. Why? Because he's had some good numbers against us in the last few games. Now let me tell you this. Does someone playing for a team like the Giants, who haven't seen real success in the last 11 years, really have the right to underestimate us? Is this comment going to come back to bite him this Sunday? I think it will. Now I have to ask, what kind of message are the Giants sending here? Let's be real, they're not the Eagles or the Cowboys, teams that have been more consistent and have a reason to feel superior. This kind of statement is coming from a player who hasn't yet proven himself to be an unstoppable force in the NFL. Yeah, he's done well against Washington, but come on, is that enough to start talking trash? I don't think so. And here's the real question. How are the Commanders going to respond? Let me tell you this. If there's one thing that can fire up this team, it's exactly these kinds of comments. The Washington boys have pride, and I know they do. They're going to come out swinging. Shut those mouths. Thibodeau's comment might just be the spark we needed to play more aggressive in Week 2. I'm excited to see how our rookie QB, Jaden Daniels, responds on the field. What do you think, fans? Is this going to be the game where he shows Thibodeau and the Giants that underestimating us was a huge mistake? I'll take it even further. This is the kind of challenge that defines a season. Because it's not just about winning a game here. I believe it's about respect. If you let teams walk all over you and say nothing, it becomes the norm. But let me tell you this. The Commanders are not here to be anyone's punching bag. Especially not for a team that's had as few winning seasons as the Giants. Let's talk about what really matters. Johnny Newton, our rookie defensive tackle, is coming in with all the energy and drive to make his NFL debut. Now, I gotta ask, do you really think he's ready for that? I'll tell you this, after being picked in the second round, the kid had to deal with an injury that kept him sidelined for a bit. But listen up, because according to Coach Dan Quinn, Newton is pushing hard to get back in action. What does that mean for us? I think this could completely change our defense. Quinn dropped a major hint when he mentioned Newton might be ready for full contact practices. Are we talking about seeing him this weekend against the Giants? I'll tell you, it's looking real possible. But here's something we need to think about. If Newton plays, he's got to show he can step into the shoes of someone like Matt Ioannidis. Can he make that difference on the defensive line? I'll tell you this. The pressure's there, and if there's one thing we know, it's that this defense needs someone who can make noise in the middle of the field. Now, let's get serious. The team has 4 active defensive tackles: Don Allen, Darren Payne, Fedarian Mathis, and Sheldon Day. And while they're all handling their business, let's be real, Newton could be the spark we need. Allen and Payne played over 60% of the snaps last game, and while they're solid, they need that extra push to bring the heat when it's crunch time. Could Newton be that guy? I'll tell you this, there are a lot of high hopes, but nothing's guaranteed. So Coach Quinn is keeping us in suspense, saying we'll know more about Newton's status by Friday. But here's where it gets interesting. If Newton's active for Sunday's game, one of the current 4 tackles is going to have to sit out. Could it be Mathis? Could it be Day? And if Newton does get in, will he be able to live up to the hype? This is where things get exciting, because this rookie's done with sitting on the sidelines. He's pushing to earn his spot and make a real impact on the game. Let's get to the point, Commanders fans. We all saw what happened in the game against Tampa Bay. Emmanuel Forbes, our cornerback, a pretty rough debut in the 2024 season. Let's be real, it was a tough night for him. Beaten in coverage multiple times, and to top it off, not 1, but 2 penalties on a single play. What went wrong there? Now, I ask you, is this what we expect from the number 16 pick in the draft? I don't think so, but let's break it down. Dan Quinn said something crucial after the game. We're working really hard to develop him. And sure, he's a young player in development, but how much longer can we wait for Forbes to reach the level we need? I'll tell you this, in the NFL, there's not much room for repeated mistakes, especially when you're up against the top receivers in the league. Forbes is improving, that's a fact. The question is, will it be enough to keep him as a starter in this defense? Now, Ben St-Juste battled all night against Mike Evans, and while he had his moments, he wasn't the game changer. Meanwhile, Forbes was well below expectation. I ask you, is it fair that we have a veteran like Michael Davis watching from the bench while Forbes struggles? Davis, a guy with experience who could help stabilize the secondary, didn't even see a single defensive snap, only special teams. That, my friends, makes me wonder, what's the coaching staff thinking here? Do they see him as too high a risk? I think this week could be different. And speaking of this week, there's Noah Igbenogany, a player who did see action on Sunday, playing 44% of the defensive snaps. He made one of the few standout plays on defense, a defended pass with tight coverage. Play like that can change the game's momentum. Plus, he's already worked with Quinn and Witt in Dallas last season. Could he be the solution to our secondary problems? Here's what I think. Forbes has potential, but he needs to show it now. The team can't afford to wait indefinitely. Commanders fans, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this latest stumble is something the team should just brush off? Or is it the spark we need to ignite the engine and move forward? Let me know in the comments what you think. Now I ask you, is Newton the player our defense needs to make the jump in quality? Do you think he's ready to debut and be the force we need? I say the time is now, but I want to hear your opinion. Comment below and tell me if it's time for Newton to make his big entrance into the NFL. And speaking of the secondary, what do you think? Could we give Forbes another chance? Or is it time for Michael Davis and Noah Igbenogany to step up more in the defense? Time is ticking, Commanders Nation, and every game counts. Drop your opinions in the comments. Finally, if you enjoy this exclusive content about the Washington Commanders and want to be part of this great family, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here, we cover everything happening with the team we love, and together we can take this conversation to the next level. Join our community and stay updated on all the important news. And remember, hail to the Redskins!